Hello everyone, this is yet another video of me just going through some games with Prism until we officially get the new set Heavy Hitters. Just 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now as I'm recording this. So I've been actively playing a Vestige version of the deck for more than a month now, and I'm happy to say that I have managed to solve the ninja matchup, or at least get it to 50-50 or better. So wanted to share some games against ninja. Then I think I have 2 games against brute, and then just share some thoughts about the deck, what's working, what's not working, which matchups I think will be difficult, and things like that. So, if you're interested, just in the comments, there will be a timestamp somewhere. Now, I have 2 games against Fai today, and I'll go through those games and then I'll share my thoughts on the matchup. And yeah, let's begin. So, in this matchup, both us and Fai want to go second. So whoever wins the die actually has a big advantage, in my opinion. I just quickly checked my board, and yeah. Now here my opponent, I notice, plays Lynx and Ember Blade, which based on my 30 or 40 games into Fi, I do not recommend for the Fi player. Now, if they have some tech or something else that I'm missing, fine, but I don't think that's the case. I think that Kodachi's and Mask is strictly better against the new Prism. He starts with some attacks here, and I'm thinking how to be greedy in order to play my Parabole on this turn. However, I end up actually just blocking everything. And yeah, I quickly wanted to check if this has go again, because if it didn't, I could have probably played Parabole here and be absolutely greedy. Then we get this hand, which is I think pretty average for my deck. So we start with a War Tune, because obviously if they pop it, we can fix this off the extra resource. To my surprise, our friend here decides that they want to block my first Herald. Now, I could have broken the chain here so that I have actually a good target for my Herald of Rebirth. But then again, we're gonna shuffle our deck here. Unfortunately, the game works like this. The Herald of Rebirth first puts your angel on top, your target card on top, and then you bring out the figment and you shuffle. So there is some anti-synergy here, and you're basically always going to have to choose between getting a card on top of your deck or actually getting a figment out. I get the Figment of War here because I have only one soul currently, and I can't do any decent extensions, and I just want the +1 in case I hit Erudition, because if I hit Herald of Erudition, he'll have to commit 2 armor pieces to me. Now I'm just gonna pause here. I want to explain my thinking here. Generally, I could skip blocking and just swing back for, what is this, 6 and 5-11, possibly some angel play in between. However, I'm gonna block here because he has only 2 cards in hand, so he cannot present a lot of damage to me, and this discount that he might possibly get, yeah, I think it will be beneficial for him. For example, if he has something that costs 1. So um, that's why I blocked here, and I think it was actually a decent block. So he comes around for a vanilla 3 damage. We're gonna go that in. There is no triggers on hits that we're scared of, and we're pretty close in terms of HP. Now we get this Wave of Reality procced, and he swings his flame here, which is for 1. If you believe it or not, it's up to you, but we don't really care about the Spectral Shield. There are very few synergies in my current deck that would leverage flying around Spectral Shield, especially if we're playing the Luminaris 3.0. Now we're hitting for 7 because of the +1 from the Courage token. This will ask of him at least 2 card block. Now we do have a non-light illusionist card in hand, which is slightly troublesome for us, but he decides to block anyway, and I'm again extremely happy with this. He just committed to very big red cards and a armor just to stop one of my heralds. This is absolutely, I'm happy to see this in this matchup. The tempo is still with me, so he wants now to rubble. That's fine. This is 4 damage. I see a card which, again, I don't know all the 5 cards in such great detail, but I decided that he probably not gonna want to break his Lynx. Just take 4 here. Then he decides to break Pierce Reality. I think this is probably the best thing he can do, because if obviously then he cannot pay for the Ember Blade to swing, and he does not have the Kodachi sprite, so that's that. Now we go with this for 6, which automatically stops all of his poppers, because yeah, Ninja will not have a popper above 6. I'm going to speed up here. So he decides this to go in. Then we bring out Figment of Erudition here, because we can actually extend this into more damage. We're gonna trigger Prism here, flip Erudition, and then swing with her. Now, a bit unfortunately, I would have liked to see here actually a yellow instant aura, which I can pay off with my Herald, and then slam down the Pierce Reality. That would have been ideal, I think. However, I'm just gonna swing with my Herald anyway, because it's free damage. I want to get the shield, maybe cover a breakpoint somewhere. I think it's better than the Ravages. Now he does something here which I don't quite get. He did not block my first Herald, he did not block the Angel, but he blocks this one. So this is probably just inexperience on his side. Or maybe he feels like, I don't know, that's worth the block. I don't know. It's up to him, really. Then we're gonna see 1 extra card. We're gonna slam it in the arsenal because it does not block. Then we have another quite decent hand. Now he plays Mountain Anger from the arsenal, and I might share that this is actually the card we decided to block for in a few rounds back. So he doesn't get the discount. Now we are ahead in life. We're ahead in life versus the aggro player. This is a very winning situation for us, and probably for any deck. If you have more life than the aggro player, then yeah. And in this case, we have the tempo here as well. So I'm thinking here if I should block or just I let this sink, but then I realized that I don't have any soul, so I cannot do something like block his entire turn and then swing with Soraya. So what I end up is I end up tanking with Soraya. He swings for another 4 damage. He's not gonna Lynx here, and he ends his turn with an Arsenal card. Now it's my turn. I feel pretty okay with this turn because we have double triumph. Let me just see quickly. Yes, he goes. Let's that one hit. We're gonna grab a figment here. Figment of protection. I think it's fine. Extra HP. Now I'm thinking if there is some way here to squeak out the old, but I don't believe that's the case. So yeah, I'm just letting him know that I'm thinking, because old is a card that eventually he will need to address in some way. And when he doesn't have a Kodachi, it's actually a commitment unless he wants to Phoenix Flame it, but anyway, that's fine. So I'm going around, and in the end I decided that there's no way to make this work. So I just need to actually swing with my Herald and get my soul up. Of course he's not gonna block, and I'm gonna bring out one more figment. Now I want to just pause here very quickly because this is actually a game state I'm scared of. So the Fai player keeps a 5-card hand, he has Lynx, and he has Boots, and I'm at 22 HP. Now the ceiling of this turn from the Fai player is very high. If he has the right cards, we cannot do much about it, right? We're gonna probably block as much as we can, and then we're still gonna leak like 5 to 10 damage, and he is gonna have the tempo again. So it is really scary position to be in, honestly. I don't remember what he played because all of these games are recorded a few days ago. However, this is the position you really start sweating. And this is why I like Dissolve Reality, because if I manage to dissolve reality somewhere in this turn, I would be feeling so much safer. And here he goes, Art of War, with a Lynx and Snapdragons, so obviously he was gonna deal massive damage. And one of my better plays here is just to basically get out a Figment of Triumph out in order for him to sort of negate the Art of War +1. And yeah, he swings with something here. So I'm going to play Pitch Merciful. We're gonna put Herald of Triumph in. Yeah. Then we're gonna get this really awkward double erudition hand. So he goes in for 1, and I'm going to give him my boots because I think we can save the shield for something else. Now he goes plus empowerment. This is still not going to hit, but he's gonna get my shield off. So I don't know, maybe it worked for him. Now let's see how he continued. So he played Enlightened Strike from Arsenal, and he gives it go again. Now this surprised me a bit because I think he could play it for 7 and then just give go again with the Snapdragons or something like that. So I'm thinking a bit here how to cover this. Checking just he has Link, Embers, everything. Then I believe I end up taking 5 here. Yeah, he just swings for 5, and then an Ember Blade for 3, which I'm gonna take because again, no relevant on hits. He did banish Lava Burst, right? So I can actually calculate how much damage he has, And this actually scares me a bit because I think it was exactly lethal, I think, or it was very close. Hold on. So it's 5. Oh, he chose to 5 draw a card. Yeah, yeah. And he was gonna Snapdragon here. So that's essentially 5 from the lava burst, and assuming that he drew maybe a red card, then that's either exactly lethal or very, very close to lethal. So I decided to block here because I just want to get some value off my cards. Then he's gonna swing for 3, and oops, and he's gonna finish the chain with another 5. So it was actually 13 damage to my 14 health. He almost presented little here. Now, obviously, I wanted to keep an extra card, but then he does not have any armor, and I'm just gonna erudition for um, 5 here. What ended up happening? He decides to let this one go in. That's fine. We get a double blue card. Then I'm gonna flip here. I don't know which figment I'm gonna flip. Oh, so I actually do something funky here. I cast my ult to rat before calling out the Figment of Ravages. That way the Figment of Ravages actually deals a bit of extra damage here. Hold on, let me see if this actually captures it. Oh, right. So we flip here, I get the Figment, and the 2 Arcane are actually gonna deal 3, I believe, because of the ult. So he's down to 3 here, and I'm presenting Clito now with this. He gives me a 2 block, and he does not realize that I have, I guess, 1 extra damage uh, from the ult rat. So GG's, and we go next game. Let me just see if I'll be able to switch the games without much hassle. Yes. All right, so we're into the next game. Now, obviously, that player was not very highly experienced, but I believe the game was quite done at that point anyway. There was little he can do, especially of a 3-card hand, to win there. By the way, I just want to quickly stop here and mention one thing. In my first game, I saw a total of 0 Tomes of Divinities. 0. Now, let's see my second game. This guy, he's playing Kodachi and Mask, which, as I shared, in my opinion, it's better for the 5 player. I see this card here, and I'm gonna play my heart, gain an HP. So he goes second Kodachi. I believe I let that one go in because the net is 0 because of the heal. But in fact, we have Wave of Reality, so we get the Spectral Shield out. He swings with a card which we block. Then he goes with Enlightened Strike for how much? He wants to go for 5 and draw a card to Arsenal. I believe we're covering everything here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna cover everything. That's fine. Sometimes you can get really shit hands, and you can get like no yellow after full block. Rarely, but it does happen. So I was considering just for a second there, maybe keeping either the War Tune or the yellow card. So we start with the yellow War Tune, and unfortunately for us, we see a very shitty hand. In my deck, I'm running, I don't know, a very, very little amount of auras in the aggro matchup, and seeing a bunch of non-blocks and a single herald is actually very rare. I don't know what the stats are on this, but it should be single digit % chance. Then I'm forced to skip. So this was a really trash hand for me, despite going second. Now he goes for 3. I'm looking at my hand and I'm thinking, okay, I can swing back with this. But he does have a 3 hand plus mask plus arsenal, so he can present a lot of damage. This one does have go again. I'm gonna tank this one. And we're already starting to look very behind on HP. So he does Enlighten Strike here. I really don't want him to extend, but he does it for 7, so I don't have a decent block as well. So I'm gonna let him mask, and depending on that, right, it was a bit too late for him to trigger the boots. So we swing there for 6. Believe it or not, actually Fai has a very hard time blocking 6s because of a lot of block 2s in his deck. So if you're swinging a 6 yellow herald or a red 7 herald, there is not that much of a difference, right? Depending on the hand, obviously it might make a difference, but generally I think yeah, reds are not in this matchup mandatory. Now I'm gonna swing with my second yellow herald, get my soul up. If I actually did have one extra soul here, I would have probably popped erudition, however, figment of erudition, but I don't, so it is what it is. I look for a figment, which I'm happy to have early on, and I don't need for a particular use case, like cover Art of War or something. And that's it. 2 soul, 28 damage, hold on. Yep. So he's ahead on HP. And he has a 4-card hand plus Kodachis plus mask plus everything. So again, this is very scary for us, incredibly scary. The Fai player can just trash us in pieces with this type of hand. Of course, depending a bit on his draw, but as we can see here, he's having quite a decent hand here. A pitch blue, and this I believe is his second red here. So I'm gonna let this 4 go in because I don't have a decent block for it. And I don't wanna sack 2 soul on defense. This is something else I came to conclusion in this matchup. Now he gives me a chance to stop mask here, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pop my boots, just pitch, and then he gives another 3 damage here. And this time, unfortunately, I'll decide to flip and just tank the 3 damage, as much as I don't want to. And he decides to finish off with this, which is gonna destroy my arsenal. So this is a 5-card hand without Art of War, and if we calculate how much damage he does, actually quite a lot. So I am down to 8 HP, 8 against versus 28. Obviously he's not going to block from this position, right? He is not going to block from this position. And no aggro player should, honestly. You're so far ahead. So I'm gonna grab erudition here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it. Then we're gonna swing for 4. He's gonna take this 4. We're gonna take 2 cards, which in our case are these ones, and then I'm gonna swing for another 7, which he'll again tank because he has a massive advantage, honestly. And we suddenly bring things down. I'm gonna ping this guy for 1, and we're down to 9. Obviously, I get a ponder token, so we fill that up. And this guy is ready to explode now. He's ready to go in and finish me because he kept a 4-card hand. Still has mask, everything else. Now, I believe I'm playing a bit cheeky here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm probably thinking here. Hold on. Yeah, I want to actually pop my Halo here because I don't think there will be another opportunity. I haven't seen an Art of War so far, and there is no point in holding this, so I'm gonna pop my Halo. I'm gonna find this Figment, and I'm basically going to void his attack, keeping my Herald safe. So then he swings with Kodachi for 1 because obviously he wants to get my Herald. I have an easy cover here. Then he swings for 1 with his Phoenix Flame. It's 1 because of the first attack and the Shuko. So I give him the Vestige here because it's already very late game. I want him to really work for my Angel if he wants to kill him with one card. He swings again for 1, and here I believe I finally give him the Angel. I'm obviously thinking about it. But no, I think I end up blocking. I'm thinking here because there is a high chance that he has another attack, and that attack will, if it's a 4, he can kill my Angel directly without me having the opportunity to block. So I think what I end up deciding here, a lot of thinking, still thinking. So what I decided here was to actually flip another Angel. And that way I covered this. So here he decides to swing with his attack. It's not enough to kill my Angel, but he wants, and I'll give him the extra card. So this here is actually how I won the game. This block was incredibly on point, and that's why I was thinking several minutes about it. But now I can swing. I have the soul for it. I can swing here. Lucky for me, I find one of my tomes. However, I don't actually need my tome at this point. He does a huge blunder here, so he decides that we're at the end of the game, so he gives me Mask and Shuko, and that's all I need to see to actually win the game, because I give him a Herald. He does not have the block. 5 goes in. Then I have a Herald in Arsenal. I have another 7 damage on the board. So I just swing for 7 here, and he decides to not block and lose the game. So that's that. Returning slightly to this very key moment, this block here really won me the game. And this type of plays you really need to look for when you're playing this deck. It's not straightforward at all. Here I could have given him Herald for the Kodachi, or and then flip my Angel with another non-block, or I could have done something else, but I didn't. And yeah, clutches like this will either win or lose you a lot of games with the current cards that Prism has. Now, there was obviously the situation where I could have just let the Angel die, take 2 damage, and then swing with Herald of Protection for 6 and keep a blue, which is essentially a flip and then an Angel attack which is like 7 damage if I flip Ravages or if I push for Triumph. All these routes are available to you, and it's very difficult to judge in which situation which route is better. And this, for me at least, comes only with a lot of experience, right? It's not a clear cut which you want to take here, which path you want to take here. And then he obviously lost on the block there as well, but again, I don't blame him. That was 4 damage, and he hasn't used that armor the entire game. Obviously, we're not gonna continue for very long. Now, I'm gonna hop into the Brute games, and then I guess I'm gonna speak a bit more. Hold on. Just because I don't want to speak in 2 separate places. Now, I'm playing Rhinar here, who does not have scab skins. Now we're playing Iris on this matchup. And then, yeah, he does not have scab skins. I don't know why. I just joined his game. He's obviously playing some meme deck here because he has Rock as well. But it is what it is, right? So I'm gonna go slightly quicker through this game. Now, I'm playing, I believe, 24 auras in my current list, and in my first hand, I see 0 of them, right? This is just amazing. Exactly the opposite of what we want to see. Let me, hold on. So this is my opening hand, and I'm gonna tome, and then I see still no auras. And then we're just waiting for the Rhinar to do his thing. He swings for 6, I give him all the blocks. Then I'm gonna swing desperately back because there is nothing for me to do actually. For some reason, he decides to block with 6, which is not enough because this is Triumph. Again, I'm not going to judge anyone. I find Figment of Erudition because potentially I might want to do some Arclight Sentinel bullshit. I draw another 4 cards, still no auras in my deck, in my hand. This guy plays something here, some buffs. He I give him 6 block here because I have nothing to do with these cards. I cannot get an aura out. Swinging back doesn't do much, so it is what it is. Now I'm gonna swing with Triumph. He again gives me block. Intimidate does nothing in this situation. And finally, I have a Triumph and I guess Tome in Arsenal. So what happens here? He plays some of the new cards, which I'm not sure what they do. He does some Intimidates, then swings with Rock for 12. I don't know how consistent this is, but he just 3-card 12 me, so that's not bad. I give him the blocks he wants, and we continue playing our very sad aura game, which in this case is another Herald for 5. He lets that one go in. Maybe, I don't know why, he has a good hand or something. And this is finally a hand I can play with. So that's 4 hands in this game. I believe it's 4. And I finally get the playable turn with the Iris build. This is the first time it's happening to me. So if you think that my opponent is, for example, playing Rock and without scab skins, then consider what are the odds for me not getting my auras in the first 4 hands and having to swing back with heralds. So now this is a very interesting decision point because he gives me this for 8 and I don't want my tome in the arsenal to go to waste. So what I do here, I believe, is I pop my Halo on defense just so that I can use double tome this turn. Right, so I'm thinking a bit, tome once, and then, oh, by the way, there is another goofball moment here, right? Because I'm afraid for my auras. I believe I don't even. Yeah. Right, right. I actually put into my soul merciful here because I really, and I don't get a figment out, right? Uh, and this is what I draw, which is thankfully for me 2 auras. And again, I check how this other version of Scab Skin works. Then I play all these nice auras. I keep a 2-card hand. I let him hit me. And then I believe I just go this. Uh, he plays an instant, which I don't quite understood why. This goes in. Then I'm lucky. I find my third tome here. Then I find these cards. Um, Now I can swing with another erudition because I have old out, and yeah, he continues to let those go in. Then I find an Arclight out. I slam the Arclight, and I believe that's how I end my turn. Now I don't know what's the reason he did not pop them. Maybe he didn't have exactly 7 in his hand. I don't know. Because Triumph here is actually stopping his 6s from popping. But anyway, he sits for a while, and I believe that was game. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So ask him. Yeah, we're waiting for a few minutes. Is he there? And that's game. Yeah. Um, that's the game here. He basically gave up here after this turn. And I have some Kayo game here as last one. Here we're going. Hold on, we're going first. Yay! And our amazing turn is going to be Shimmer Pass. Crazy, right? Then I find another Shimmer and a Parable. And now this is my opinion of how the Brute matches are going to go. Brutes are going to play only around Scabskin this matchup, and I don't say it's wrong. I'm just saying that it is what it is, right? We're gonna play a Scabskin match. In this case, he wants to kill my aura and attack, so he rolls the Scabskin. He gets a 6, and I generally don't care at all about my arsenal. So what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna get Mage Master so we can slam another Shimmer. Now when we have 2 Shimmers, we're gonna swing with the shield, I believe. Yeah, the shield is getting these counters. He wants to actually send my card here. If he didn't do that, we would swing one more time, but I'm happy to put it in arsenal anyway. Now we get an Arclight Sentinel. He does an Art of War. Now I'm thinking here, and I actually opt to Art of War, to Arclight Sentinel the Art of War. And then he Scabskins, I believe. So he Scabskins 1 first, and then he rerolls with Gambler's Gloves to 5. And I'm like, oh shit, right? Because he's gonna go face. And unfortunately for us, we don't have actually a good turn after that because we cannot attack with our Yellow in hand. So again, this was a bit of a questionable Arclight from my side. So he swings with this to get rid of the shield, which is at 6 counters. I would have done the same if I didn't know that I have a yellow in hand. And then, hold on, so he does this, and then he plays Art of War. He has Go again on the Command and Conquer from somewhere, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know where he gets from, but he has Go again on the CNC. And then he slams me for 7. Yikes. So we're 18 HP behind. And again, it's his turn. So again, he undoes some actions here and decides to scab skin, and he rolls a 6. And at this moment we're very sad because he can, if he wants to, he can kill both of our shimmers here. So he attacks me for 6. I just block 6 because I don't have a turn after this. I have the 2 shimmers on board and I'm stuck again with heralds in my hand. So he goes and kills 1 shimmer, and then he decides to swing for another 6. So we are 35 to 9. And then I swing with the 2 shimmers. He blocks a bit. Then I pass. Yeah, there's nothing else to do. He goes swing big. Oh, sorry, my my throat is getting tired. So he swings here. I believe I do something crazy. Hold on, what I'm doing here. So he swings big. I play a tome. I find another tome. And this is my hand. So he swings for 9, which is lethal for us. If swing big doesn't hit the defending hero. Alright. So we're just happy to not die with this hand, honestly. So I give him 5 block. And he ends his turn. Here we attack again for 6, then we hit another 6, and I believe I'm considering here if I want to library or if I want to haste bending, because we're not gonna trigger library this turn, and on the other hand haste bending is, I don't know, just a good card to have. But I end up going for the high roll. What a surprise. We're still 20 HP to 6 in his favor. So now he does something which I'm not sure what he does. Let me check. He plays an Art of War. We should be very dead here. I'm not sure how I win this game. Oh, right. He plays the runner here. Now, I don't know how this works. He tells me that he has to manually do something. I'm actually gonna skip over this. He asks if he can do another line. I'm telling him that he already saw the cards from Art of War. So I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm not sure what's happening. He adds manually 1 action point. So I really don't know what's happening. At the end, he does a poping for 6, to which we don't die, and he kills with the extra action. He kills shimmers. Then we swing for 7 and we put this. Now we see 5 cards because of the double yellow. We see an Arclight Sentinel. He rolls Scab skins, and I believe he rolls 1. Yep. And he gives up here. So unfortunately, that's most of the brute players on Talishar. So they're either gonna roll 5, 6, 6, and kill you in 3 to 4 turns, or they're gonna roll one and just leave the game. I'm just gonna leave this as background, and now I'm gonna speak just for a few minutes of my thoughts on Prism, because I'm very close to clocking 100 games. I probably have 100 counting the offline games I've done as well. But yeah, so where should I begin? First things first, the deck is playable, and I'm absolutely sure that the way to go would be on a switch plan between Iris and Luminaris. I don't see how you can win certain matches as a mono build, either as mono Iris or mono Luminaris. I just don't see it. So I started playing against Fai because Fai, in my opinion, is the premier aggro deck, and they present a lot of damage. And in my version of the deck, I'm not running too many. I mean, I'm running a lot of non-blocks. Basically, almost 1/3 of my deck, of course, depending on the matchup, is non-blocks. So I said to myself, if I can win with that many non-blocks against the top aggro deck, then I'm doing something right with this hero and with my deck. So I started playing, and right now I would say I can win a lot of matches simply because of me understanding the matchup in such a detail, and my opponent probably playing for the first, second, or third time against Prism. The matchup, when both people understand the matchup, is very interesting, and it's a very close game. But until both players go there, it will always be very swingy. And yeah, a few other points against Fai. First of all, I really think that you don't need Red Heralds to win against Fai. And in fact, I don't think you need Rupture. You don't need a lot of things. If you have a look at the 2 games I played today against Fai, we won on a Vestige, seeing 0 tomes or playing 0 tomes in my games, because I think I saw 1 tome at the end of my second game. So my deck, if I see a tome against Fai, and if I can play the tomes against Fai, I'm increasing my win percentage by quite a lot, or winning chances. The games I lost on a few occasions have either been me testing very specific theories. For example, I'm not gonna block. Let's go face and race and see if I can actually win that way. Or, for example, okay, I'm gonna fully block and let's see how much damage I'm gonna leak. So, excluding some kind of test scenarios, I would say that tomes definitely help in that match, and I just won 2 games without playing any tomes. So if I'm doing this well without with that many non-blocks and without leveraging fully my tomes, then I think this deck has definitely fit against Fai. Now I really want to test versus Mech in depth, because I think that that matchup is way worse for the Prism. But if I can get it, let's say to 40-60 or 45-55, I'll be happy against most mechs. Now, speaking of mechs, I think actually Max is quite winnable. Dash.io and OG Dash, now it really depends on the Dash player, on their build. It's a very difficult conversation. I'm still in the process of playing against those decks. And versus Brutes, that's the other matchup I've been testing. Versus Brutes, I would say it really depends on the Scab skin rolls, and this really annoys me because I don't feel we're playing flesh and blood. We're playing roll the dice, and if the brute player rolls the extra actions and they clean up the board, it's actually very winnable. We almost cannot do anything. And if they roll once or two, or three, I guess, we can win the game. So I don't like this gameplay, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about it if Brute becomes like a mainstay in the meta. Um, Now, a few card choices I want to quickly go over. Right, Guardian in the face of Bravo is absolutely free in my version of the deck. Never lost against a Bravo player, no matter high rolls and all kind of jazz. Just Bravo is auto win. And yeah, Azalea is actually a bit of a dicey matchup, but I tend to win more than lose, because you can actually play both game plans into her. And I feel that, like, if you play Iris, you can snowball very easily. If you play Heralds, probably not that easy. But she does not want to block. She does not have a lot of poppers. Triumph is actually basically unblockable for her. So, I mean, you can approach the game, and I don't think Azalea is a problem for this deck, so I just don't practice it that much. Now, I'm gonna go over a few card choices I found out in my testing are quite, let's say, questionable. Well, not questionable, but yeah, could be better. So I played a lot of games with my library. I have maybe, like, I don't know, I have to check my stats, but it's dozens of games with library. And what I can share is that library cannot go in versus aggro. There is simply no time for that. Um, and it does not go in automatically when you play Iris, because there are certain decks that can leverage the library or they can break it, and it's a huge liability late game. Like, I've lost definitively some games where I saw library in the last 1/3 of my deck, and I lost because that card cannot be pitched and you cannot block with it. So library, in my opinion, currently it's good for Bravo. Um, it's good for Azalea. It's good for Max, and it's maybe good versus certain Brute builds. If you know that the Brute is running blues and yellows, yeah, you can run the library. But in my testing, I never found that library it's more of a win me losing games. Rather, it was more like of a win more card. So that's my honest opinion. I can win Bravo without library. I can win Brutes and Azalea without library. So I don't know. It's not that demanding. Now um, another card in my deck is Light of Soul that I have been very vocal about. Light of Soul is a good card, however, I cut it currently in my deck because I'm testing 6 Red Heralds in my deck. And I think that if you play Red Heralds, the Light of Soul diminishes. I really think that you want to play that deck in a crazy amount of yellows, right? So it's a great card. I love the flexibility it gives you. It turns some very bad turns if you proc it. It's one of the incredibly few ways to proc your soul on defense, which is very crazy for Vestige and if you have tomes. However, if you don't run the right ratios, it's actually a liability. And as I said, for me, 6 Red Heralds makes it way too of a big of a liability. Now, another yellow card I currently slot out is Dissolve Reality. I think the card is great in the right deck. And I think it fixes issues which Prism has. Prism, new Prism, cannot force cards out of your hand. And that's actually a big issue. Let me see if I'm still recording. Holy shit, I'm still recording. Oh my god. So yeah, new Prism cannot force cards out of your hand. And for situations where the opponent is going to pretty much surely kill you because they have twice the damage in their hand, you're actually in a very losing position. Dissolve Reality is one of the ways, without going to pures like Command and Conquer, that is going to break their 5-card hands, and that's why I like it. Again, I think that it has place in the right deck, and I think honestly it's a good card. It just needs the right matches and the right deck. That's all I can say, without going into too much details. But yeah, problem is new Prism cannot force cards out of hand, and this card actually forces their arsenal out of the next turn, which is substantial in my opinion. Let me see something else. So something else I can probably quickly go over is the amounts of yellows and blues. I actually find that for Iris plan, you want to have, I would say, absolutely bare minimum of 24 blues. 27 for me feels okay, and 30 is probably ideal. And for reds, I'm running basically only 6 reds, and I might drop down to 3. Again, it depends on the tech that I need for certain metas. And yeah, that's about it. You can actually trade more blues for red heralds. You can get red protection, I guess, but then this really changes the deck in my opinion. To run Vestige and Tome, you need certain amount of blues in order to be able to trade 1 blue for a Tome when Vestige is active. And then obviously you need the yellow count for the go against. And a bonus if you have your Vestige active, a yellow is essentially a blue for Iris. So that's that. And yeah, I think I'm going to end now. Probably this video might be 1 hour long. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Those are my thoughts on the Prism. I'm probably missing something, but I think I covered most of the major points. And yeah, let me just quickly... Yeah, something I can also share is about Arclight Sentinel. The card is not amazing. However, it has its place, and especially against Bravo, Azalea, and sometimes Brute, I'm always happy to see it. Now, is it worth 3 of? Probably you could drop 1 copy, I don't know, but in those matches, like when you see it, you really want to see it, right? You don't want to have a single copy of Arclight Sentinel and be like, well, if I hit it, I hit it, right? Yeah, so that card is a bit on the chopping block as maybe a 2 of, and I think there is 1 or 2 other slots that I can compromise on. And yeah, with that, I think I can finally say that before Heavy Hitters comes out, I think this list is very stable, and I'm quite happy with it. I'll see what Heavy Hitter changes in terms of especially a Warrior and Guardian matchups, but I expect the list will remain mostly the same. By the way, last note, speaking of Heavy Hitters, I did a game against Kasai. To my surprise, I thought that as any Warrior matchup, this will be basically an Iris matchup, right? Because the Warriors, it's hard for them to interact with our auras. that's not the case. Now I lean towards playing Luminaris 3.0 against Kasai. And if people start playing Dory, then I'll probably need to learn that match as well, because I don't think it will be as straightforward as before. And with that, again, sorry for the background. I could have probably prepped something a bit more interesting. Hope this was useful to you guys. Stay healthy, because it's winter in most places of the world. And yeah, uh, let's see. I'll make an update sometime after the expansion lands. Cheers.